Hello, and welcome to Tell Me About Your Book. My name is John Christian. In this episode, I will be speaking with self-published poet Marianne Tefft. She is Canadian. In fact, she's from my hometown of Toronto. However, she's been living the dream for the past 20 years on the island of Saint Martin in the Caribbean. Today, she will be reading some of her poetry right here. So, stay tuned. Hi, Marianne. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, John. It's great to be here.
My pleasure. Now, you have written some books with poetry in them. Is that correct?
I have, yes.
And how many books are there?
Currently, and just very, very recently, I've published my second poetry collection. My first was called Full Moon Fire, and it appeared last summer of 2022. And just before the new year, the last week of December 2022, the sister publication Moonchild appeared. Regrettably, because I live on an island in the Atlantic called St. Martin in the Northeast Caribbean, I've not yet received in my own hands any copies of Moonchild, but I do have right here a copy of Full Moon Fire.
Excellent. Yes, I heard that you had a book of some sort. There
Yes,
it is,
indeed.
Full Moon Fire.
That's it.
Very interesting. And now there are poems throughout this book. Is that what it is?
Yes, Full Moon Fire actually is a series of 40 poems, and they follow the trajectory of the moon, really, the phases of the moon. So the poems are grouped like the story of love, the growing first love, the full love, the bittersweet love, and then the little bit dark side of love, but where there is the opportunity for new love, because of course we forget and we're optimistic and we believe in love. And the poems sort of follow from the waxing moon to the full moon to the waning moon and then the new moon.
Put a lot of thought into that.
I'm a July-born moon child. There it is.
Oh, wow.
So the moon has been with me really through my whole life and has influenced me a good deal. I live on an island which is very much a year-round outdoor lifestyle. So the moon and the tropical warmth are with us at all times, and so very much my poems are very much moonlit.
I see. Wow. I was born in July. I didn't know I was a moon child.
Ah, you are indeed.
Yeah,
You are
but
indeed.
now that I think about it, I've been fascinated with the moon ever since they landed on it. I was 10 years old when that happened.
There you are. There you are. I remember that very, very well. I'm the 19th of July.
And I was 12. Yeah.
Oh, there you are.
Yeah.
I'm the 19th and
I took the binoculars out and tried to see if I could see them walking around, but you couldn't, no.
Which date is your birthday?
July 9th.
9th, and I'm the 19th. There you are. So you're definitely a moon child.
Cool. Very cool. So that's the book that just came out. The one before it is called what?
Full Moon Fire is the first, and Moonchild follows on with moonlit poems, and this time, again, 40 poems. Each one of them has the word moon somewhere, moon or moonset, moonrise, moonlight. I wanted to weave that word in at least once in each poem, and they are organized basically according to the full moons of the year.
Excellent. Are you going to read some of these poems for me?
With pleasure.
I would like to hear that.
With pleasure. I'll start off with, from Full Moon Fire, I'll start off with a poem that encourages us to go ahead, to dare to fall. Love hurt you bad last time around, maybe worse the time before, but it doesn't have to be that way. You don't need to cry anymore. There's more to me, and you will see. I'm not the kind that you have known. This time I'll make you believe what glitters really is pure gold. Nobody wants to hit the ground, but you can't let fear of falling turn your head around. You're standing on the brink. You've got to make the leap. I'll help you find your wings. I'll be here to catch you. Just dare to fall in love. Too many empty promises made you cry far too many times. broken dreams and bitter kisses, you can leave all that behind. It can be hard to trust, I know. It seems only time can help you through. But true love can lift you up above the rainbow if you'll just let me care for you. Nobody wants to hit the ground, but you can't let fear of falling turn your head around. You're standing on the brink. You've got to make the leap. I'll be here to help you find your wings. I'll be here to catch you. Just dare to fall in love.
Very nice. Very
Thank
nice.
you.
Yes.
From the waxing moon part of our love life, our journey in love, I'm going to share with you something from a full moon. And you. I want a night, champagne sunset lifts the moon, a million stars, and you. I want a day astride the sea, watercolor kisses tattoo my lips, and you. I want a dawn, warm breeze, freeze the curtains, well-loved sheets, and you. I want a night, jasmine in a jar, slow dancing, heart to heart, and you.
I really like poetry. When I was young, I wrote it.
Thank you.
I just liked writing poetry and reading it.
I love it too. I love to write and read, indeed.
I'm just curious, what is your background?
Well, I went to journalism school at Carleton University in Ottawa, Ontario, Canada, and I was a magazine writer and editor for many years in Canada. And when my only daughter, Julia, who is now 27, went to preschool, she went to a Montessori school in Toronto's beach community, and Montessori education began speaking to me. At that time, I was running the In-Flight magazine. I was editor of the In-Flight magazine for Canadian Airlines before it merged with American. And it was a great job, but it was keeping me really out of lockstep with my only child. So I went back to school and I became a Montessori teacher, indeed. And I've been teaching in a Montessori classroom now for 22 years. And I call that my daylighting. And the rest of the time, I'm a poet and a lyricist and a voiceover reader.
Well, you do that well.
Thank you.
Nice voice. Well, I have a Hungarian background, and I grew up in a family where my father and mother, especially my mother, she read poetry quite a bit.
Oh, it's great.
I love poetry. Yeah.
Yes, me too. Music, poetry, anything with words, really and truly. I've been writing since I was very young.
Have you written lyrics for songs?
I have. I had the opportunity to work with a singer, songwriter, composer from a neighboring island for a few years, and we composed about 30 songs together, and we brought out 5. So we had some fun. We haven't yet earned enough to pay for the Gulf Star, but at least a nice bottle of champagne every year. Let's put it that way. So it was fun.
Yeah, isn't life grand?
Yeah, that's it. Exactly. The first time you hear your song on the radio, oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's great stuff.
Yeah, it's fun. I can read you a couple of poems from Moonchild if you like.
Please, go.
All right. One of the poems is called Repeatedly. Because I do not want you to think that when you lay beside me, my lips will open only with a screed about democracy under pressure worldwide. My tongue denouncing the hellhounds who threaten my birth country with reproductive Armageddon. I tap out a song of laughter from a poet who reminds us forever believe in love. And as my fingertips move, I mind stream the pleasure they will bring when they trace your body in the cool moonset. My tongue tastes your skin for hints of mango and peach, and my lips meet yours repeatedly. Wow. Another poem from Moonchild is a poem actually a premonition dream, and it was a dream of my daughter. This poem was about 28 years or nearly 30 years now in coming. I dreamed of dolphins I knew you were coming the night I dreamed of dolphins. Walking with your father beneath veils of Spanish moss, so unlike the icy drapes that cascade from northern roofs. I had watched with joy and awe so many years before as those sleek coursers sign curved up the broad river. That night I stood on boulders. There were boulders, and your aunt was there too, staring into a sea the color of pecans. From a depth where even my night mind knew no air breather actually could ascend, I watched a dolphin fly toward the surface. Mesmerized by the speed of that silver arrow, I gazed as if into a hand mirror when the dolphin stood tall on his flukes, held me for an indelible instant in the full sunshine of his gentle smile, then bent his strong neck and kissed me on the cheek. Unpleating my body in one move, I sat up, contented and sure, like tropical dawn that bursts from dream to daylight. And I knew, in a way I have never known anything before or since, you were coming the night I dreamed of dolphins.
Very pretty. Very nice. Very nice.
And another piece also inspired by life in St. Martin, humming like bees.
Okay.
I thumb through your life, traveling backward, longing to know you forward from every angle, and maybe just touch you a little on an evening when you are far away, new as the moon too, and I do not yet dare to be so forward. With every line I smile, my eyes open a little wider with every image. My mind stirs and churns as I read words that I must remember to ask you, to tell you. Perhaps we have been flying toward each other for so long now, humming like bees. Thank you. A few pieces from Moonchild.
Very nice.
The poem I Dreamed of Dolphins, I literally honeymooned in beautiful Beaufort, South Carolina, and I had the opportunity at that time, many years ago now, to observe dolphins coming up the Broad River, and that is the river that passes through Beaufort. And some years later, I dreamed this, and I looked at this dolphin. It leaped up, it kissed me, as I described in my dream. I literally sat up and I said to my daughter's father, "I'm pregnant." And sure enough, I was.
Cool.
Yeah. Strange.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, how are sales for you?
Sales? What is this word sales?
That word, you know, that some of us are concerned with. So
Yeah.
I know most people want to know.
Yes.
How is poetry selling these days?
Well, it's incredibly popular, from what I can tell. People love poetry. They love to listen to it. They love to come out to open mics. They love to go to Zoom meetings. There are tons and tons of outstanding poets every night of the week, reading around the world. I've had the privilege of getting to know many of them in these last 6 months or so that I've been more involved in those circles. But I think many of us really struggle to see our books leap, you know.
Right.
It's the beauty of self-publishing, Amazon and other means, is that we can get our books out. We don't have to wait for to be the 1 in 10,000, let's say, chosen by a traditional publisher. On the other hand, there are literally millions, tens of thousands of books a day that are published. So to cut through all of that sound, it's very tough. It's very tough.
Yeah, sure it is.
So, yeah.
Best not to depend on it, I guess.
That's it.
It's an art form.
So I look forward to the day when my books are breaking even, and I'm finding different ways to publish and to get my message across. And I hope I'll have more and more opportunities to collaborate with other poets and other creative people to simply produce projects that people can enjoy. And I hope more and more that I can simply make them available to people who would enjoy that. And I am absolutely thrilled to be with you tonight, John, because it gives me an opportunity to share some of my work.
Well, it's my pleasure to host the show and to meet interesting people like yourself and hear all about your work and the passion that went behind it. That's really at the heart of this whole show. And I was actually quite surprised to hear that there are poetry groups online with Zoom meetings saying poetry. That's pretty cool.
There are probably 3 or 4, if not more, at this very hour.
Great,
At
great.
almost every hour of the day and night, around the world,
Right.
there's poetry being read and enjoyed. Yeah, it's really fabulous.
Yeah, it's a very immediate type of medium, I guess.
Mhm.
I remember in the 80s when I was in a band, or I played at these sometimes I would just do a solo thing with an acoustic guitar. There's bound to be a poet there eventually standing up and saying some poetry, quite often, in fact. That's still happening, you're saying, right?
It is, absolutely,
And
absolutely. And I find more and more too, I've had some opportunities here in St. Martin to be invited to, different sorts of events where there might be a band and there might be an MC, and people will invite a poet or two to come and perhaps write something for the occasion and be part of it. It's really great. Spoken word and poetry, music, lyrics, all part of our human expression,
oh,
and
it's
it's really a
ancient.
pleasure.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Huh.
that's
This has
it.
been a pleasure. A real
The
pleasure
pleasure has
speaking
been
with you.
mine. Thank you.
Okay, Marianne. You take care of yourself now.
Thank you. Same to you. Thanks. Same to you.
Bye. And that's our show for today. If you like what I do here on Tell Me About Your Book, then please hit the like button and subscribe. And don't forget to ring that bell for future notifications. And if you are a self-published author or a poet, then please contact me. I would love to speak with you. Until such time, keep on writing and be kind to one another.